tough year. It's been a tough year. Not for me, but for the people that are around me. And so I basically just want to say that God is a good God. God is a good God, and He's brought us through a lot.
What I'm about to tell you today is something nobody on Love and Marriage, Huntsville was prepared for. Not the fans, not the cast, and definitely not Marsau Scott himself. Because the whispers that have been traveling around Huntsville for months just turned into a thunderstorm, and LaTisha is the one holding the lightning. According to multiple insiders, she has officially filed for divorce after allegedly catching Marsau getting way too comfortable with none other than Stormi. Yes, Stormi, not a stranger, not someone far removed from the show, but a castmate, a woman who smiled in her face, filmed scenes beside her, and acted like they were cool. It's the type of twist that shakes the ground beneath everything we thought we knew about this marriage. People always assumed LaTisha was the one who would hold on no matter what. She was the one defending him through every rumor, brushing off accusations, and trying to convince herself that the world just didn't understand their bond.
Okay?
We made it!
When we got here, there was a cone stopping us from parking. Sometimes in life, after you drive all this long way, you just gotta not be afraid to move the cone. What you're not gonna do is let this cone stop me from parking. Sometimes you just gotta move the cone.
But this time things were different. This time, she didn't argue. She didn't post confusing quotes online. She didn't start crying on live. She moved quietly, almost like she had been planning this moment for a long time. And when the news finally broke, it felt like a bomb went off in the middle of the cast. Because what nobody expected was that Stormi, someone with a husband, a business, and her own image to protect, would even be mentioned in the same breath as Marsau. But insiders claim there were signs long before LaTisha took action. Small moments that seemed harmless on the surface. Extra laughs. Lingering looks. Conversations that didn't match the vibe of two married people simply collaborating on a show. And while most cast members brushed it off at first, things shifted when the whispers grew louder.
Coming so hard at me. Like, why? Why people want to destroy us?
When screenshots allegedly surfaced. When late-night meetups were rumored. When fans started connecting dots production didn't even notice. It wasn't one dramatic event that pushed Tisha to this point, it was the slow, quiet unraveling of the trust she spent years trying to protect. Before we get into the messy details, you have to understand where all this started. Because for years, Marsau and LaTisha were the couple people expected to last. They had built businesses together, created a family, and crafted an image that seemed unshakable. But behind that picture-perfect exterior was a storm brewing slowly, fueled by suspicion, pride, and a man who always had a way of dodging direct questions with a smirk that made fans roll their eyes. If you've been watching from the beginning, you already know LaTisha has carried the weight of their marriage on her back.
So, talking about business, like, can we not appreciate this moment right here?
I'm sorry, it's a business trip.
Every time cheating rumors popped up, the alleged apartment in Atlanta, the trips that didn't have clear explanations, the DMs, fans swore they saw she was the one stepping forward to defend him. She was the one talking about family unity. She was the one insisting that people were just jealous, or trying to tear them down, or misinterpreting innocent situations. Even when other cast members tried to warn her, she stood firm. Loyalty meant everything to her, sometimes even more than protecting her own peace. But recently something changed. Fans noticed she wasn't as confident in her responses.
Like, this is crazy. Like, people are really offering you money to come on this show and lie. So at that point, I was like, forget it. It's a lie. Like, now I don't believe anything.
She didn't jump to defend him as quickly. She seemed tired, not physically tired, but emotionally drained in a way that only someone who has been holding too much for too long can truly understand. Group scenes that used to show a united front suddenly looked tense. She started sitting apart from him. Her laughs felt forced, and her eyes told a story she wasn't ready to say out loud. And Marsau? He kept that same smirk. That same dismissive attitude every time someone mentioned cheating rumors. It became his trademark, the deflection, the sarcasm, the habit of never giving a straight answer. Fans called it arrogance. Castmates called it avoidance. But now, people are calling it something else entirely, a mask he couldn't hold onto once the truth began creeping out. What really pushed things over the edge was the shift between Marsau and Stormi. At first, it looked like nothing more than a friendly cast connection. But cameras don't catch everything. And according to people close to production, Stormi and Marsau began spending more time together off camera than anyone realized. Meetings that didn't need to happen. Conversations that were described as too personal. Jokes that made people side-eye them. And then came the alleged messages those screenshots fans claim are floating around in group chats, the ones insiders say were the moment LaTisha finally saw something she couldn't ignore. Let's be clear, none of this has been proven publicly. But the consistency of these accounts, combined with LaTisha's sudden move to file for divorce, has Huntsville buzzing like never before. Because she didn't file impulsively. Sources say she had been preparing for months. Quiet consultations. Meetings with attorneys. Reviewing business documents. Asking questions about accounts she previously didn't touch because she trusted her husband. And that's when things got even more tangled. Because this isn't just about an alleged affair. This is about money. Businesses. Investments. And paperwork that, according to whispers, didn't add up when she finally started looking closely. People forget that LaTisha wasn't just a wife, she was a business partner. She helped build what they have. She invested her time, her image, her credibility. She was the one showing up to meetings, filming scenes, handling the public image, and standing beside her husband when the business wasn't looking stable. So when she suspected something was off, she didn't just investigate the emotional betrayal, she dug into the financial side too. And the rumors say what she found made her move fast. Whispers around Huntsville suggest there were strange transfers, questionable accounting decisions, and business filings that could create serious problems down the line. Nothing confirmed yet, but the kind of murmurs that make lawyers lean forward and say, "We need to talk." And when you combine that with the possibility of an inappropriate relationship between Marsau and a castmate, it paints a picture of a marriage that wasn't just cracked, it was crumbling from the inside. People close to the Scotts say the moment LaTisha realized she might be tied to financial issues she didn't create, she started protecting herself. She gathered paperwork. She documented conversations. She asked for access to accounts she had previously let him handle. That's when the mood reportedly shifted in their home. Marsau sensed she knew something. And instead of trying to salvage the marriage, insiders claim he became defensive, distant, and verbally dismissive, the same behavior fans noticed on camera, but intensified. Meanwhile, Stormi has stayed quiet. Very quiet. People say she's avoiding conversations that even hint at these rumors. She's not denying anything publicly, but she's also not addressing it. And her silence is adding fuel to a fire that's already burning out of control. What nobody expected was how fast everything would start collapsing around them once LaTisha made her move. Their businesses are reportedly in chaos. Investors are pulling back. Projects have been delayed. Some employees are reaching out privately, saying they don't know what's going on or who's in charge. And with LaTisha filing for divorce, her legal team will be reviewing every penny, every account, every signature. That alone is making people wonder how deep the issues go. It's also affecting the rest of the cast. Maurice is allegedly pressuring Marsau to be honest about whatever happened before things spiral further. Kimmy, usually calm and collected, has been noticeably quiet, choosing not to defend anyone publicly. Some cast members are terrified to film with the Scotts until they know what details could explode on camera. Production is scrambling, trying to decide what footage can even be used without creating new legal problems. The entire show feels like it's holding its breath. And then there's LaTisha moving like someone who finally snapped out of a spell. She's reportedly rebranding her image, stepping away from joint ventures, and preparing to rebuild everything she lost while trying to protect a marriage that wasn't protecting her. Her friends say she's focused, sharp, determined in a way they haven't seen before. A woman who gave everything and realized it still wasn't enough. But the emotional toll is real. This isn't just about business or rumors. This is about a woman who spent years defending a man who may have been betraying her behind her back. A woman who trusted someone who smiled in her face while allegedly getting close to her husband. A woman who tried to hold her family together, only to discover she might have been holding it alone. People close to her say she cried silently for months, scared of what it would mean to leave, terrified of the backlash, but even more afraid of staying in a situation where she felt played. She's thinking about her children, her future, her peace. And while filing for divorce was a shock to fans, those who truly understood her journey knew this moment was coming, the moment where she finally put herself first. Because once trust is broken, once the foundation is shaken, once the whispers start lining up with the receipts, there's no turning back. And now the entire city of Huntsville is watching, waiting to see what Marsau will do next. So far, he's staying quiet, but silence can be an admission all on its own. Fans are wondering if he'll try to win her back, deny everything, or shift blame like he's done in the past. But with the way things are unfolding, it looks like the truth, whatever it is going to come out. What makes this moment so powerful is not just the collapse of a marriage, but the transformation of a woman who finally realized she could no longer live in the shadow of someone else's choices. For years, LaTisha tried to be the glue. She tried to be the calm voice in the storm, the loyal partner who believed time and effort would fix everything. But now, after seeing pieces of truth she can't unsee, she's stepping into a future she once feared. And that shift, that quiet, steady rise is something even her critics are applauding. People close to her say she's becoming more grounded every day. Not louder. Not bitter. Just aware. She's understanding the importance of peace, the value of honesty, and the need to protect everything she built before she ever had a television audience watching her moves. Friends say she has moments where the weight hits her, the reality of restarting, of raising children through a public breakup, of facing cameras that will want every emotional detail. But instead of breaking down, she's learning how to breathe through it. She's learning how to stand in her truth without apologizing for it. And Marsau? His silence is only adding more questions. Some say he's trying to figure out how to control the fallout. Others say he's shocked that LaTisha finally walked away from behavior she tolerated for so long. But the truth is, when a woman reaches her limit, the reaction doesn't matter as much as the damage already done. Whether he speaks up, denies everything, or tries to repair his public image, the shift in their marriage is already too deep to reverse. Stormi's name continues to swirl in the conversation, even though she hasn't said a word publicly. And that silence is creating its own hurricane. Fans are trying to read between the lines, looking at old scenes differently, replaying interactions that once felt harmless but now feel loaded with tension. Regardless of what really happened behind closed doors, her connection to this situation will follow her, at least for a while, shaping the way viewers interpret every move she makes next season. But here's the truth, the biggest impact isn't on the show. It's on the people living this in real time. It's on the children who will feel the shift in their home. It's on the mother who has to rebuild her confidence after years of trying to prove her marriage was strong. It's on a woman rediscovering who she is when she's no longer trying to save something that refused to be saved. And as much as this story is filled with rumors, heartbreak, and emotional wounds, it's also a reminder that endings are not always failures. Sometimes they're necessary exits. Sometimes they're the first step toward a life with fewer tears, fewer doubts, and fewer lonely nights spent begging someone to care enough to change. So as this unfolds, one thing is clear, LaTisha has reached a point where protecting her future means letting go of her past. And whether you love her, criticize her, or feel somewhere in between, you can't deny the strength it takes to walk away from the man you built your entire adulthood around. Because at the end of the day, this story isn't just about betrayal. It's about awakening. It's about choosing peace over chaos. And it's about a woman finally realizing that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is leave. This story isn't even close to over. The divorce filings, once they become public, will reveal more. The cast reactions will reveal even more. And if the legal issues connected to their businesses grow any bigger, this could turn into one of the most explosive moments the show has ever seen. So now I want to know what you think. Do you believe Marsau crossed the line with Stormi? Do you think the financial rumors have something to do with this divorce? Or do you feel LaTisha finally reached her breaking point after years of defending a man who refused to give her honesty? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this situation is about to get even messier, and we're only seeing the beginning.